So hopefully you have all of your strings memorized, the names of the strings, E, A, D, G, B, E. And, using that sentence, Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take three of these and we're going to play some of our first chords. And we're going to play what's called the E5, A5, and D5 chords. And these are power chords. Power chords and fifth chords are the same thing. So if you see A5, D5, F5, any of those, just know that is a power chord. And we're going to get a little bit more into how these are formed and stuff like that in a few. But so we're going to go over the power chords, your very first chords. And then what we're going to do is work on a little jam so you can actually have fun playing music using these. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so now we're going to take our E string, A string, and D string. And remember, Eddie ate dynamite. So you're taking those three strings, and we're going to turn those into power chords, our very first chords. So the first one we're going to do is called an E5. Now, before I even talk about this, what a fifth means, with a 5 in the E5 or A5 or D5, whatever, all that means is you're playing what's called the root, the very first note. Like an E5, it's an E. And then we go up what's called a scale, something we'll work on a little bit later on. We count out 5 notes up in the scale, and that's all it is. So for instance, here's an A5. We're not doing these type of power chords yet, but that's called an A5 chord. Now, we have a scale. All we're doing is we're playing this note and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're playing our first note and our fifth note. That's all it means. If you don't understand about scales or you're really kind of confused at all there, don't worry about it. Just know that a fifth chord is just the first note and fifth note of a scale. And at the very basics, just know a fifth chord and a power chord are the same exact thing. So that's a barred power chord, fretted power chord, I should say. We're going to play open string power chords. And what that means is we're going to use our open string, which is going to be a root. That's going to be a root is what names our chord. And our open string, that is going to be our root. That's what's going to name our chord. So we're going to be playing that note. But then we're going to take that other note, that 5 I was talking about, and we're going to play that second note right here on the A string, second fret. I'm going to play these together. Now when you do this, don't wail on it. Hear how horrible that sounds? You want to just let it glide, lightly glide over those strings. So I'm not going. Because when you really bang on it, those strings really vibrate, and as you hear, it sounds horrible. So just let it glide over. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on there. So make sure it sounds like that. So again, our open string, our E string, that names our chord. And then we just add in the second note where we actually fret the note at the second fret on the A string. That is our E5. Now what we do, if we want to play an A5, we play our open A string. And then the string below that, on the D string, we're going to play again the second fret. So we have our open A string, which names our chord. And then our second note here. So we got, that's an A5 chord. And our open A string names our chord. So again, we have our open E, which names our E5. We're playing a note on the 2nd fret A string. That's our E5. Then we're playing our open A string, note on the D string. Play them together. That's our A5. So if we go over here and we play our open D string, and we add in the note below the string below that, which is on our G string at the 2nd fret, what do you think we call that? What was the name of the open string? D. And remember, our open string is naming our chord. So that's your D5 power chord. So E5, go down, open string is A, A5, going down, hitting the open D string in this note that I'm fretting. This is D5. So make sure you got that straight, which is what? E5, A5, D5. So those are your first 3 chords. Now what we want to do is we're going to turn this into a little jam. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to play our E5. We're going to hold it for 4 beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're holding it for 4 beats in total, just hitting on beat 1. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to play this once. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what we're going to do is go down and hit our A5, our next chord. Remember the open A string and this note here and the D string 2nd fret. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do a few of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be really careful not to go too high and hit that open string. You don't want to hit that, the open E string. You don't want to hit that E string. You want to hit only the A string and this note you're fretting. Just those 2 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what we want to do is when you strike this, don't keep your hand down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then have to rush up. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and start bringing your hand back up into position. 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, at first, you're probably going to have to look. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. And this isn't going to be bad because this finger only has to go up and down, so you don't really have to keep as much of an eye on this, your left hand. Although when we get going further, you're going to have to pay attention more to your left hand than your right hand. So we're going to put those 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back and forth between those. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do that as many times as you want. You want to try and keep that nice and even. Do your count. And then if you can, add your foot in there because that's really going to help you. You will really want to get that foot in the mix. So you're going to go, and don't just go 1, 2, go. Do a little count before. 1, and do this at the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start. You don't want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You want to do that count in the same tempo you're going to actually be playing it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like that, kind of going back and forth between the 2. So if you can't do that right at first, then don't worry about it so much. Just focus on counting nice and even. And you may have noticed I went 2, 3, 4. I brought my thumb around. Now you don't have to do this at first, but later on, what this is good for is I'm silencing that E string. So if I hit it by accident, it's not going to be the end of the world. You hear that? So it's silence this. And the sound of this overpowers this little noise. See if I do it without it, but watch when I play the whole thing. The power chord sound overpowers that and you don't even hear it. But if you just do 2, 3, 4, that's okay, you know, but eventually you're going to want to stop that from ringing. Then there's other techniques too where you can bring our fingers up to silence the other strings above that, but don't worry about that right now. So now what we need to do next is add in our D. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So going through all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now you can start going down and up. Down or up and down, up and down. By the way, I know this is weird, I'm saying up, but we're going up in pitch. Hear how it sounds, it's getting higher, we're going up in pitch. And when we go in reverse, it's going down in pitch. So we're going by pitch, not direction. So kind of think of it as backwards from direction. That's going up, that's going down. We're on here, that's going up, that's going down. So you want to make sure you get that correct. So from here, when I say go down, it means you got to go this way. So yeah, you're just going to do each one of these, and again, keep an eye on that right hand. Make sure, like you're going from A, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you're targeting that D string and hitting just those 2 strings. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. And you're just kind of going back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4 for each. So just take your time with that and really get that going well. So yeah, you want to make sure you just go through that, get that, make sure you're playing the power chords really clean and clear, and everything's really sound good. It's not like oh, I didn't put enough pressure on there. Make sure both of those are ringing out. Matter of fact, you can play a chord and then oh, that's not enough. A little bit more pressure. You can just start to recognize what both of them together sounds like. You hear that difference? The second one is where I didn't have anything muted. So make sure you can play these nice and clear, and then work on the timing. You know, it's no big deal if it's like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes you a little bit of time to get to there, no big deal. Now, one thing you can do is you can actually, it's better to slow everything down, so it takes you a little bit longer to get to the next chord. You can go, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and have that little bit of a pause. Slow it all down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you hear that? I still stalled for the same amount of time, but I slowed everything down, so now it sounds even. And that's a better way to do it. Then you can get everything, you know, relatively even, then pretty much dead on even, and then you can start speeding it up. And it's good to, if you're able to, play with a drum beat or a metronome or something, because then you can gauge yourself. You know, say if you're good at 60 beats per minute, then you can just every time you come back, you can start 60 beats per minute, and you're starting at a really good spot, and then you can bump it. Let me try 63, see how that goes. Let me try 65, see how that goes. And you can slowly bump it up in little increments, and that's going to help you out a lot. So now what we're going to do here next is we're going to take these and we're just going to jam on it. Same thing, going up and back down. So and then we're going to do that 4 times, going E, A, D, A. We're going to do that 4 times, and then we're going to end off on the E. And so I got a track here that you can jam along. So grab your guitar and jam along with me. Okay, so here we go. There you go, little tune for you to jam along with. Now you can in the YouTube on the bottom of the YouTube video, there's like a little cog. You can click on there and you can actually slow this down. So if it's too fast for you, then go ahead and slow it down. And yeah, just take your time. You want to start slow and then build up. And yeah, so basically again what we did is we just did our E, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Then at the very end, we ended off with E. And what I did is I just hit it, and I actually used my palm. And then I want to do it further. Here, let me bring this down for a second, just so you can see. I just took my palm and laid it over the strings. So I'll do 1 time, like say this is my 4th time going through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I just hit it and stop it immediately. And then that gives it a nice abrupt ending, and it goes good with that last little drum beat. It just goes psh. So yeah, that's it. So there are your first 3 chords. So now you know 3 chords, and you have a little tune you can jam on. So have fun with that. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next lesson. All right, I'll see you there.